Howdy, this is Whitebox here for another Spirit Island stream. This time I'm going to go ahead and do a two-handed game, unlike the one-handed game that I did the other day. Cat, you are not going to be allowed here soon. That's okay. Yes, hello. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a random combination of spirits, just like I did before. And from those spirits, I'll go ahead and play a game. Nice. Yeah. I know. She likes to kill the invaders, so I'm taking that away from her. Alright, so with my randomizer here, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this for 2 players, so I can pick 2 spirits. I'm going to stick with intermediate, just because I'm going to be talking a lot, going through my thought process, and if I play any harder, I won't be able to focus on that so much. And not going to do thematic, not going to do a scenario, so go ahead and hit go. I've played Thunder Speaker twice in a row, so I'm not going to do that, so let me go ahead and reset and get a different combination here. And that's going to be tough, but I'll go ahead and give it a try. So Shroud of Silent Mist and Shadows Flicker Like Flame. No aspect against France 2. Alright, let's go ahead and give that a try and see how it goes. So I've got board D here for Shadows Flicker Like Flame, and board B for Shroud of Silent Mist. Okay. So I'd set it up like this, push it up to the top there. Pull out my spirits. It's been a while since I've played base Shadows Flicker. Played them with aspects a couple times, but base Shadows not so much. I've also only played Shroud once. I'm not a huge fan of Shroud, so we'll see how that goes. And I'll be playing against France 1. So Kingdom of France, Plantation Colony. Okay, so I think that's all the... France 2, excuse me. Alright, and the layout's supposed to be top to top. I'm going to keep it standard just because it will fit better in the stream here, I believe. Okay, go ahead and get rid of that. I've adjusted the sharpness here on the camera. It should show up a lot better than it did before, so hopefully you can make out the text. Again, I'll adjust that in post if I need to. So let me go ahead and set up this board. So Kingdom of France, level 2. France for a while was one of our nemeses. We lost to level 3 France, like me and my fiance lost to France about probably 6 or 7 times in a row on level 3. Gotten it a little bit under control, so let's see how this one goes. Probably not the best 2 spirits against France though, so that is going to add an extra challenge. In France, I need to make a special pool of towns, so I'll go ahead and leave that up in this top corner here. So I'm going to have a pool of 7 towns per player. So 14 total. And France's special win condition, or special loss condition for me, I guess, is if they ever have all 14 of these towns on the board, they will win. Let's see, 7, that's right. Alright. Unfortunately, these 2 spirits are probably not the best at killing towns, so that's going to be a challenge. But that's okay. That's what makes this game fun. So many different different ways you can do things. So I should have my Slave Rebellion card in here. Go ahead and find that. Get that set up. Your card get in there. I'll be shuffling this again afterwards, so this is fine. There we go, Slave Rebellion. Make sure there aren't any other fear cards that are in here for some reason. Looks like I'm good. Yep, that's okay. Okay, shuffle this back up. And France level 2, Slave Labor. During setup, put the Slave Rebellion event under the top 3 cards of the event deck. Then after invaders build in a land with 2 or more explorers, and replace all but 1 explorer there with an equal number of towns. So they're going to be building lots of towns. It's scary. Might be going for a major power Shadows game here. And just totally ignore their whole thing. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I've got the Slave Rebellion set up. I've got my Han, I've got my cities and towns. France 3 is quite a bit harder than France 2, so I'm glad I'm not playing France 3 as these 2 spirits. Okay. A couple finishing touches here. And then should be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up in its designated spots. Hopefully I can remember all of the rules for those despite doing that. Shuffle this back in. Really, the French rules are not too complicated, which is good. Alright, and France 2 is a 3-4-3 setup. So I'll have 3 fear cards to get to Terra level 2, 4 to get to 3, and then finally 3 more to win the game. Okay. Need my power cards for these spirits, then I'll pick out my colors. Shadow I usually like doing purple, but Shroud I also like doing purple, so it'll probably be a purple and blue game. I could do Shadow's Flicker Like Flame as red instead. That might be the way to go. Just to differentiate them. A little bit easier. Okay. No special setup for the Explorer cards or Invader cards, so that's good. France is a little bit slow out of the gate. Not as slow as England. The extra explorers from their Explorer stuff do accelerate them pretty fast. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to kill their towns with these spirits, which is not gonna be easy. Very quickly. Alright, Invader deck's been made. Let me go ahead and choose my colors here. I'll grab blue and red. I'm going to play Mists on board B, so that's going to be the top board. And Shadow on board D, which is the bottom. So Mist setup is going to be put 2 presents on your starting board, one in the highest numbered wetland and one in the highest numbered mountain. So that'll be there and there. As far as shadows, I'm going to put 3 presents on my starting board, 2 in the highest numbered jungle, and 1 in land number 5. Okay. I'll go ahead and fill these in, and I'll be good to go. general strategy for this game is, well, it's going to be fear. That's what these two spirits are good for. So hopefully I can race through the fear deck and get some good benefits out of that. It's usually not my preferred way of playing. I like control spirits a lot, and offensive spirits. Fear spirits, not my favorite, so a little bit outside my comfort zone for playing these guys, but I think that'll be alright. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. As I play, I'm going to put Shadow's played cards over here, stack them up, and I'll play Shroud's played cards over here. And hopefully with the changes I've made to the camera, you'll be able to see those. So starting up here, if I do my initial explore, it is jungle. Get a couple of explorers on the board. And just so it's clear on camera, I'll stagger sacred sites and put them next to each other, so that top-down view can actually pick up where my sacred sites are. Alright, so I'm going to want to control the jungles. They're going to build in jungles this turn. Fortunately, the jungles are pretty good. None of the jungles started with towns, so they're not going to build any cities. And the one jungle that does have stuff in it also is not going to build, so I'm okay with that. So I can kind of control. If I can get the invaders out of the lands, then that would be good. But I'm not sure that I'll be able to do that, really, and that's okay. So with mists, I'm probably going to gain a minor power right away. Or I can gain add 2 presence, which might be better, just to kind of accelerate. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go 1 top, 1 bottom, so I can get at least 1 energy and have 2 card plays. And that'll let me play a couple of things here. So I'll stack them up. I've got 2 sacred sites now, and I'll be moving those presents around a lot, so don't have to worry too much about that. As far as what I'm going to do, not really sure yet. I don't want this to cascade, so I'm going to want to stop that from ravaging. I won't be able to stop it from building, not really my thing. But if I can hit my innate, I'll be able to kill the city, or kill the town that's built there, and then I won't have to worry about it really. And I can get into the other land. So let's see. Dissolving Ray. Reach adjacent land with your presence, 1 damage to a different invader. So I'll be able to do that, I think. I can do Fog Closes In, and Flowing and Silent Forms Dart By. So those will be my 2 cards with Miss. And I usually keep track of my energy by placing it on the card, so that's my 1 energy. So I'll explain the cards and why I chose them and how they work when I actually get to that. As far as Shadows Flicker Like Flame, let's see. I'll be able to push stuff around a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to hit another level of my innate, so that's fine. Okay, and then as far as shadows go, I'm going to want to go for major play, and to do that, I need energy. So I'm going to go up top track, place a presence, gain 3 energy. That'll give me 4 energy this turn. Next turn I'll be able to gain a major, and I'll have enough energy to actually play it. So let's go ahead and go. Let's see, I'm already there, which is good. I can probably do a Favors Call Do combo. I can pull Favor's Call Due in there. That'll be pretty good. And then next turn I'll be able to do Concealing Shadows. I'll lose a presence, but that's probably fine. And they'll fight back and kill everything. So that should be fine. So I'll do Favor's Call Due this turn. And to that end, I'll go ahead and place this presence. Probably not going to be able to do anything about this unless I pull a good major. So I'm just not going to go in there, just in case something bad happens. So I'll add another presence here, just so I maintain sacred sites. I have 4 energy. And I'll go ahead and play Favor's Call Due as my card for Shadows. So I'm going to get a bunch of fear this turn, which is good. So that's my spirit phase. Next, we move into the bird phase, fast power phase. And I've got 1 fast power. It is Flowing in Silent Forms Dart By. So that's 2 fear if invaders are present, and when presence would be destroyed in the land, I may instead push that presence. And I can also use it together. I'm just playing it for the fear, and so I can get some stuff in there. The nice thing about Shroud of Silent Mist is Mist's Shift and Flow. So when targeting a land with a power, you may gather one of your presence from it into the land or in adjacent land, and that can enable you to meet range and target requirements. So I'm going to be moving around quite a bit. So let me go ahead with that one. I think I will target Flowing in Silent Forms Dart By. I'll pull it from here. Yeah. And then I get 2 fear, because there are invaders present. So 2 fear right away. I don't have the innate here, don't have any other fast powers, so I move on to flipping an event ceremonially, which will get me closer to that ever-present Slave Rebellion. Next I move into the invader phase. I'm going to go into Build in Jungles. Oh, sorry, don't take towns from there, take it from here. So already starting with a lot of towns on the board, I lose that. That's their build. Next up is their explore. And they're going to explore in jungle. Or excuse me, sands. I don't know, I can't read today. So sands are mostly empty, which is good. Okay. And that's the invader turn. Next up is slow powers, and I've got a couple here. So first up, what I'm going to do is Favor's Call Due. I'm going to gather 4 Tahan into here. I'm actually going to do 3. I'm going to abandon that one and put 3 in here. And now, because invaders are present and Tahan now outnumber the invaders, I get 3 fear. It's pretty good. Alright. And then with Slow and Silent Mist, Shroud of Silent Mist, I'm going to go ahead and target this land with my innate, Suffocating Shroud. I do hit the first threshold, so I can do 1 damage. And to meet the targeting requirements, I'm going to go ahead and move 1 guy in there. Do 1 damage to the town. And then with the Fog Closes In, for each adjacent land with my presence, there's only 1, I do 1 damage to a different invader. So I'll finish off that town, get a fear, and stop the cascade for next turn. And that concludes the slow phase. I don't have any damaged invaders in my lands, unfortunately, so I'm not going to get Shroud's special fear, but that's okay. And then I discard. Keep those discard piles separate, just below their boards. And time passes, and now I go to a new turn. So I know with Shadows I'm picking up a major right away, so I'm going to gain a power card. I'm probably forgetting Favor's Called Due, which is unfortunate because I do really like that card. It's good for fear generation and just moving the Han around. But that way I keep my deck growing. So I'm going to go ahead and place these here. So first up, I have Thickets Erupt with Every Touch of Breeze. Fast card, 2 range from a Sacred Site, targets inland only. And it does 2 damage, then either add 3 wilds. Wilds are really good against France, so that could be the play. Or remove 1 blight. And if I have 3 plant, I do 1 fear and an additional 2 damage. So pretty good. That'll enable me to destroy inland towns and add wilds or remove blight, both of which are going to be good this game. And it's cheap, which is nice for me. I've got Transform to a Murderous Darkness. Target spirit may choose one of their sacred sites, and in that land replace each of their presence with Badlands. The replaced presence leaves the game. Push any number of those Badlands. 3 fear, and then 3 fear per presence replaced. And then also with the kicker, 1 damage to an adjacent land, or 1 damage in an adjacent land, and an additional 1 damage in an adjacent land. Can kind of stack with the Badlands. It's a cool card, but I don't really have any way to accelerate my presence on the board. I'm going to be getting about 1 a turn, 2 every 3 turns, so probably not great for me. Infestation of Venomous Spiders is a fast card, 2 range from a Sacred Site, targets a land with invaders. Add 1 beast, gather up to 1 beast, and then for each beast, 1 fear and invaders skip 1 action and target land. Very good. And then if you have the kicker, it also causes, after the power causes invaders to skip an action 4 damage. So pretty good. The problem is it's not going to kill anything, and really I'm going to need to be killing towns this game. So I can stop them from building in 1 land, but I don't know that that's going to be worth it. It'll be okay for fear, but probably not okay overall. And then the Jungle Hungers, slow power, 1 range from a jungle, destroy all explorers and all towns, destroy all of Dahan, and if you have a kicker, destroy 1 city and do not destroy any Dahan. It's a very good card, especially with the kicker. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to get the kicker this game, and because of that, I don't think that's the one that I'm going to take. So of these, I think Thickets Erupt with Every Touch of Breeze is going to be my play. Just stopping explorers with France, very strong. So I'm gonna pick Thickets Erupt with Every Touch of Breeze. Discard these down here, and I'm gonna forget Favor's Called Due. It's in my discard. Forgetting from discard means that I'm gonna have not gonna need to reclaim as soon. So go ahead and do that. And in addition to that, I get to add another presence, and I want to keep this energy going. I don't really need 2 card plays because I'm just going to let this one go. So I'm going to go ahead and place this guy. Range of 1. I'll place him here. See if I can set something up there. And I have a couple options on this turn. I could sacrifice one of my presents here to use Concealing Shadows. I'll eat a blight there, but the Dahan will fight back and kill everything, and I won't lose any of them. And I'll save a lot of energy doing that. So that's probably going to be my play. Generates more fear as well. I think I can afford to do that. So I'm going to play Concealing Shadows. I get 3 energy just from growth, so I'll have a lot of energy next turn for another major. This costs me nothing, and that will let me do stuff there. Not really worried about losing that presence or giving up a blight. It's okay. I think that'll be fine. Now into Shroud. Shroud, I'm not sure. I could do a double presence growth again, but I don't know that that's necessarily the play. I think I want to stick with 2 card plays, gain a power card to try to get some energy, and then I can start moving around the map. So this one I don't have to worry about. This one I kind of do. I can have it so that they don't participate in Ravage. Unfortunately, that means that I won't kill them. but that's probably all I can do here. So let me go ahead, I'll gain the power card first and see if that changes my strategy. So I'm going to gain a minor. I think it's probably really hard to play major powers with this spirit, but I haven't tried. I've only played this guy once. So I got Seer Anger into the Wildlands. It's slow power, 0 energy, which is nice, but does have fire, not nice for me. 1 range, add a Badlands, or if Wilds and Invaders are present, 1 fear and 1 damage. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. Call to Isolation, fast power, range 1, targets Dahan, push 1 Explorer or Town per Dahan, or push 1 Dahan. That's okay. Well, consider that. Uncanny Melting, if invaders are present, 1 fear, and if target land is sands or wetlands, remove 1 blight. I don't have any blight on sands or wetlands, so not great yet. Although I might end up giving up a blight next turn on sands, so that could be okay. It's also pretty cheap, and has decent elements. No air, but has both moon and water. And then Visions of Fiery Doom. It's a fast card, range 0, which is fine for the spirit. 1 fear, push 1 Explorer or Town, and 2 fire plus 1 fear. Not great for the spirit. I don't want cards with fire, really. So I'm not going to get Seer Anger into the Wildlands or Visions of Fiery Doom. My play is either Call to Isolation or Uncanny Melting. And if I do that, I'll be able to push those guys out of there, and I won't have to use Unnerving Call. Which might be okay. I think I can probably do that. So I'm going to go with Call to Isolation. It doesn't have water, but it has air, so that's okay. Because I'm gaining a card that does not have fire, I get an energy, so that's going to be really important. And I have 3 cards in hand. I have 2 card plays. I also get to add a presence. So let's see. I don't need to play Unnerving Paul. Dissolving Vapors might be okay. Slow power, range 1. I can get it into one of the sands. Probably this one here. 2 energy though, so it is expensive. But I think it's probably okay. So if I do that, let's see, I'll have no moons. Ouch. Okay, that's not great. No moons, really. Okay. I do Unnerving Paul instead. I can move. I won't be able to get over to. Oh, I can, because I can add a presence at range 3. So I can get over to the other side of the board. But I won't be able to do anything with that, so. I would just be playing it for 1 fear, which isn't really worth it. So I can't really do much with that. That's okay. Alright. So I think Dissolving Vapors is still the play. It's going to be expensive. Cost me both my energy. Gets me a fear though. Ideal, really. So I can go bottom track. I think that's probably the best way to do. And I have range 3 here. onto this mountain so I can try to damage it. Yeah, I guess I don't need the energy. I'm gonna need to play that next turn anyway, so that's fine. A little rough, a little expensive for not a great benefit here. If they happen to explore mountains, it'll be very good. Although really I can play it in a bunch of different places to kill France's explorers, so it'll be fine. So that's 2 energy, so that will be that. So that's growth and presence. Now I move into the fast phase. So fast phase here, let me get my markers out. I'm going to target this land with Concealing Shadows, which means that I get 1 fear, and Dahan take no damage from Ravaging Invaders this turn. They'll still damage the land, and I will lose a presence because of it, most likely, but that's okay. And then fast power here, I can push 1 explorer or town per Dahan, or push 1 Dahan. And I'm going to go ahead and push this town out into here. And that should be fine. And that's it. So then I move on to the invader phase. Next up is going to be an event. Throw that over here. So my event here is Population Rises, because I have a healthy land. On each board, add 1 town to a land with an explorer or town. Not great, especially against France. And where do I want to throw these? You know, I mean, they're going to build those anyway, so I could stack up in that wetlands. That'll let me kind of damage it, so I'm going to do that. Stack up there. And on this other board, you know what, they're gonna fight back and kill this, so I'll go ahead and throw it in there. Yeah, that's the play. Sand Fever Outbreak. On each board, add 1 disease to the sands or mountains with the most towns or cities. Minimum 1. So sands or mountains with the most towns or cities. So this board only has that one, so it'll get a second. And this board only has this one, so that'll get that. Easy. No decision making. Offers of Pattern Dance. Each spirit with at least 2 Dahan among all its lands gains 1 energy. That's going to be very helpful for Shroud. And still nice for Shadows, so do that. So that's that event. I'm 2 turns away from a slave rebellion, gotta keep that in mind. I usually forget against France. Also, unfortunately, 1 fear away from a fear card. So I don't quite have that yet. But I might get 2 next turn, and that'll be really good. So now I go into the Ravage. So they're going to Ravage here. They do kill 1 of my presents and add a Blight there. So I need to keep destroyed presents on my board. But the Dahan take no damage, and then they will fight back and kill all of these guys, which will be 2 fear. So that gets me a fear card for next turn. This one, that Dahan will die, and that, and then these are clear, so that's okay. Giving up 2 Blight on the first Ravage is not great, but I'm going Major Power Shadows, so I kind of have to give up the first couple turns just to build up. Next up I have Build in Sands. They're going to get a bunch of towns, unfortunately. But this one does stop, so that's good. Alright, that's that. And then I have Explore in Wetlands, and France's escalation. Oh, I forgot about France's escalation last turn, so let me go ahead and retcon that. So they had explored in Sands last turn. There was already a town here, but they would have explored here, here, and here, which means each of those should have an extra town. So I'm fixing that right now. It's not great, but there's nothing I could really do about it. So, now they're exploring wetlands. we got one explorer here, but because of France's special ability, when they explore into an empty region, or a region that has no towns and cities, they add an extra explorer. So each of these wetlands will get 2 explorers. And if they build in all of those places without me killing anything, then I might just lose, because they only have 4 towns here left. So it could be a quick game. This is a bad matchup spirit-wise against France, but, you know, it's random. So that's that turn. Next, I have slow powers. Nothing from Shadows. From Shroud, I have a couple. Actually, just one. So, for Shroud, I can do 1 damage to each invader, and I probably want to do it in that wetland. I think that gets me the most benefit. Or I could stop a build completely by doing it here. If they build the city, it's probably not as bad as building 2 towns, weirdly enough. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this guy in here and use Dissolving Vapors to kill 2 of those. Which gets, and I also get a Fear. This guy gets damaged. And unfortunately, I'm not in any lands where there are damaged invaders. I could have set that up, but I kind of messed up. So, but it's okay. Stop to build in that wetlands for next turn. That'll save 2 towns. So I think that's actually better than stopping the build in that other wetlands. So that is that. And I go back to growth. I have 1 card left with Shroud, and I kind of want to put off my Reclaim for a turn. I think I can. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. And I'll gain another miner. So I have Call of the Dahan Ways, replace 1 Explorer with 1 Dahan. That's really good. The elements are also nice, so that's probably going to be the play. But let's see what else. Mesmerize Tranquility, isolate target land, each invader does -1 damage. Okay, that's pretty good. Bird's Cry Warning, fast card. Next time Dahan would be destroyed in target land, destroy 2 fewer Dahan, or push up to 3 Dahan. It's okay. And entrap the forces of corruption, gather up to 1 blight, isolate target land when blight is added, it doesn't cascade. So some good options there, but I'm gonna go Call the Dahan Ways. I think that is easily the play, because that's gonna let me replace a town with a Dahan, against France especially. Very, very good. Because I'm gaining a card with no fire, I get 1 energy, and then get 1 for growth. Or for presence, excuse me. If I keep my cards straight here. So I only have 2 cards left on Shroud. I'll go ahead and play them now, and then decide what to use them for when I get to the fast phase. Here on Shadows, I have a good amount of energy. I'm going to have 10 energy without even taking the gain energy gain energy ability. So I could gain another major. I think that's probably the play, and I'll be able to forget Concealing Shadows and possibly play 2 majors this turn. I'll see what I get and whether that is the case. So first up here, I have Twisted Flowers Murmur Ultimatums. Slow power from Sacred Site to invaders. 4 fear, add a strife. If the terror level is 2 or higher, I remove 2 invaders. Don't do it, cat. Nope, nope. 20-pound cat is about to jump up on this table and knock everything over. And then with a kicker, which I might get it actually. No, probably not. It kind of works with Thickets Erupt with Everbreeze. Plus 3 fear before the terror level check, 3 damage. It's a lot of fear, which is going to be key this game. So I'll consider that one. The land thrashes in Furious Pain. Slow power. Target slain with Blight. 2 damage per Blight in target land, plus 1 per Blight in adjacent lands. Repeat on adjacent land if you can get the kicker. Even without the kicker, I'm probably going to end up with a lot of Blight on this board, so it might not be terrible this game. So I will consider that one. Instruments of Their Own Ruin. 1 range from a Sacred Site, add 1 Blight. Each invader with Blight deals damage to other invaders in target lands. Very cool card. Basically, you get to play as Trickster without being Trickster. So that is not a bad choice. And I'll never hit that kicker, so I don't even have to worry about it. But that's going to be good, especially with France, because they're going to be adding strife with the Slave Rebellion. So that might not be awful. Okay. And the final one is Angry Bears. It's a cool card. It's Angry Bears, but it is bad, so I'm not going to take that. So I'm between Twisted Flowers, Murmur Ultimatums, and Instruments of Their Own Ruin. What's happening this turn? They're ravaging the sands. I can give up a couple ravages in sands. It's not the worst thing in the world. And that kind of puts me towards hitting the kicker on Thickets Erupt with every touch of breeze, which is pretty good, especially against France here. So I think that's going to be the play. Is Twisted Flowers, Murmur Ultimatums. I'm going to forget Concealing Shadows. And take this. Gain 3 more energy. I have 10. And I also add a presence. And I'm going to go for another card play. Pretty sure. Fortunately, I might lose this presence again. Not great, but it is what it is. Go with Thickets Erupt right now. I don't know that I need to. I do want to get the fear though. So I'm between, I'm playing Thickets Erupt with every touch of breeze for sure. Question is, what else? Terror level's not 2 or higher, and it won't be for a little while, so Twisted Flowers is not quite as good as it's going to be soon. So I'll probably go with Crops Wither and Die. Could go with Mantle of Dread as well. That'll let me do something. We'll see. I'll come and go in here with my growth, and I'll do that. So. Get rid of one of the towns that they're going to put in here. Okay, so that's that. Go into fast powers. So first up is Thickets Erupt with every touch of breeze. I kind of want to maybe save a Dahan here, so I'm going to use it on this land. Kill that for a fear. There's not any Blight there, so I'm going to go ahead and add 3 wilds. Oh, it's inland only. Shoot. So I can't target that one. That's going to be a problem. Well, I guess I can stop the, I can't even hit any of the wetlands because they're all coastal to kill the explorers there. Okay, well, I'll stop a blight then on this land. Kill that town instead. It's not as good, but it'll be okay. Okay. If I could have pushed Dahan out, that would have been better, but that's okay. Alright, we'll see what happens here. Then I've got Unnerving Paul, which is 1 fear, up to 3 damaged invaders do not participate in Ravage, or 1 fear, defend 1 per Dahan you have in target land when the power is used. Even if I get 1 defense up here, it's not going to save any of those Dahan, unfortunately, so that really doesn't do much for me. So I'm going to be just using that for the fear. It's not great, but don't have any other option. So I guess I'll just target this land and defend there, and I get a fear for it. So not great, kind of a waste. It was only 1 energy though, and I'm going to have some of my nates this turn to play around with. Oh, no. I won't actually. So, yeah, didn't set this up very well with Shroud, as you can tell. I'm not very experienced with this spirit. So that was fast phase. It's not going to be a great turn for me, but we'll see what happens. Next up, I have an event, and we're still in Terra level 1, so Overconfidence. If you have any earned fear cards, discard them now. That's unfortunate. Alright. And then Beasts multiply on each board. Add 1 beast to a land adjacent to beast. And then destroy 1 Dahan in a land with beasts. Okay. Let's make this land uninhabitable. I only have to destroy 1. And then Coordinated Defense. When invaders ravage, if the land has both Dahan and Presence, defend 5. I should have moved a Presence in there. Should have just done it. That's alright. I don't get a fear card because of that, so we're going to go into a Ravage. Unfortunately, these 2 Dahan die. I get a Blight there. Get a Blight there. Use this Presence. And I get another Blight there. Fortunately, I still have a healthy island. Build in Wetlands. So they're going to build a city up here. 2 towns here. And 2 towns here. I have 1 town left that I can give up before this will be a very fast loss. Okay, well, that's that. Oh, and then I'm going to get the escalation, so we'll see. Alright, exploring mountains. Alright, and then France's escalation is demand for new cash crops. After exploring on each board, pick a land of the shown terrain, which is mountain. If it has towns and cities, add a blight, otherwise add a town. So that means I lose, because I can only add a town onto this one. So a very quick game. Lost to France's special win condition of just having towns on the board. I'm sure better players than me could win this matchup, but even against level 2 France, these 2 spirits seem very weak against it. Shadows was getting stronger. I think I could have maybe done some stuff if I had held out like 1 more turn, but really it just took a little too long to get going, and I don't think I played Shroud well at all. So if you have any tips for me with Shroud, feel free to leave comments. I would definitely appreciate them. Shadows, I think I played that okay. It's just not a great matchup. So let me go ahead and score this up. And then that was a quick one, so I think I'll reset here for another game. So let's see how I did. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in here. Two-player game, no win. That's France 2. France continues to be my bugaboo. Okay. Only 2 cards in discard. Very quick loss. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be an extremely low scoring game. Health worth of invaders left on the map. 13 points. Yeah, not great at all. At least it was a quick game. I can go ahead and reset for another one. Hopefully with spirits that I'm a little bit better at. Although getting the practice in on these ones that I am poor with is a good thing as well. I'll go ahead and post this as its own replay. You can laugh at my mistakes, tell me what I did wrong with Shroud. I'm sure there were a lot of things there. But feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll go ahead and try to continue posting more Spirit Island content and other board games as they come in. But thanks for watching, and have a good day.